Welcome to Sterling Insights, Stand Out and Supercharge Your Assets, the go-to podcast for financial advisors aiming to grow their assets under management, stand out in a crowded market, and retain assets nearly forever. Are you advising high net worth clients who own appreciated capital assets? Do you want to help them sell without losing a quarter, a third, or even more of their hard-earned profits to capital gains taxes? Then this podcast is tailored for you. Each episode brings you the latest strategies and expert advice from leading financial advisors, seasoned attorneys, and experienced CPAs. Learn how to maximize your clients' wealth, minimize their taxes, and supercharge your advisory practice with actionable insights. Join us on Sterling Insights, Stand Out and Supercharge Your Assets, where you'll gain the knowledge and tools to set yourself apart and achieve unparalleled success in wealth management. Subscribe now and empower your practice for a brighter, more prosperous future.
Hi, my name is Mike Agol. I'm with the Sterling Insights. I'm your guest host, and my guest is... Hi, my name is Mike Agol. I'm with Sterling Insights. I'm your guest host. My guest is Kellie Jovane. Kellie, welcome to the show. I appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Great. Let's get started. So tell me, how did you choose to become a real estate as your career?
So when I came out of college, the market wasn't great. I had a finance degree, so I went and moved to Michigan from Texas to work at Dow Chemical, and just decided I really wanted to come back to Texas after a few years. And my sister was an appraiser in the Houston area, so I started doing appraisals over 20 years ago, and then we decided to start a team in real estate and get our licenses, and just been doing it ever since then, and really have enjoyed working in the real estate field in Houston through all the ups and downs over the last 20 years.
Yeah, I bet that's been really interesting. Was that who influenced you to get into real estate?
Yes and no. My grandmother was a real estate agent for 40 plus years. My grandpa was in the military, but dabbled in real estate a little bit here and there. My mom was a custom home builder growing up in the Lake Conroe area, and also worked for a builder and did real estate as well. So I think it's just in the family. And it was one of those things that we thought, hey, why don't we join in the family business? If we have questions, they're there for us. And that's how we decided to stick with real estate after doing appraisals.
Oh, that's really neat. So tell me, what is the most enjoyable thing about being a real estate agent?
You know, I love working with clients, which is one of the reasons that we stopped doing appraisals, is because it's so much computer work. You don't really get to talk to people very much. And when we moved over to the real estate sales side, we really enjoyed working with clients. And I just love seeing their faces light up when we walk into a home and they know that is the one for them.
Yeah, I bet you that is really neat. Is there anything that's not enjoyable about doing this business?
And say not enjoyable. However, there's a lot of emotions when people buy and sell properties,
Yeah.
and maybe even the reason that they have to sell. So if it's a divorce or a death in the family, something like that, sometimes you just feel for them because it's not necessarily something that they want to do, but it's something that they need to do because of their situation.
Gotcha. So that kind of gives you an idea about the planning going through there and all that. That can be a difficult situation. Is that true?
Oh, for sure. There's tons of reasons why people have to sell. And if they haven't been planning for their future, they find themselves maybe in a divorce, and they don't have the savings to where one of them would be able to stay in the house and they have to sell. Or when it comes to retirement, if they all of a sudden have to retire, maybe they weren't planning to for a few more years, or they were, but they didn't plan ahead to be able to stay in their current home. They're having to downsize. Just several reasons that not properly planning can cause them to have to make a decision that maybe they didn't want to, whether maybe it's a few years earlier than they planned, or just didn't plan at all and have to have help from family members or move in with kids and things like that. So yeah, there's several of those things I see on a monthly basis where a sad moment of not planning will take you to a place that you have to leave your home.
Gotcha. Do you have an ideal client that you work with or get referrals from?
Yeah, clients they're going through a major life change. Maybe they're coming out of college and they're getting married when they're ready to buy their first home. I love first time home buyers. And then years down the road when they're ready to start a family, I they come back to me and I help them through that. So I really like to be what I call like your realtor for life, where every major change in your life and you need to move, you think, of me. And I've worked with several clients through the past 15 20 years where they're coming out of college in their first home. Then they have a baby, then they have more children and they want to upgrade. And then as that goes down, eventually they'll be empty nesters and they'll want to downgrade. And then a lot of times over around the countries, people are moving and they want to follow their grandkids. Their kids have moved over a few states and now they're having grandkids and they want to follow them. And so stuff like that is a lot of fun because you get to have those long-term relationships with people and help them throughout the years.
Yeah, that's really neat because we do build a network of people and that basically helps out. And when you have that longevity, that's really cool. Can you tell me something? Do you think the Real Estate Association does enough training and education on the subject of basically estate or property transfer planning?
As a realtor and at the CBA Realtors brokerage that I'm at, there's really a large range of different continuing education classes and different things that we can do and look at as far as knowing what niche we want to be in or getting more information about things. I've taken VA classes, I've taken 1031 exchange classes. That really helps with people that are doing investments or if they're have for instance, an Airbnb or a VRBO in the Galveston area or around the lake or anything like that, and they don't have it for 2 years, we can roll that in so they can avoid the capital gains tax. So think classes like that are important for all different types of clients that I have, and I seek those out, and there's a ton of classes that are available to us to really be able to hone in on what our clients need.
That's really neat. I'm glad to hear that. Can you tell us about a time when you experienced something that really was great for you that you were like, oh, wow. You had alluded to it earlier in our conversation, but can you expand on that a little bit? Like an experience that really helped somebody out?
Sure. So I have several clients that I've worked with for years. And for instance, one I met at an open house and they were really specific about what they wanted. And so I worked with them for about a year and a half to find them the perfect
Wow.
home. And when we got to the end of that, really they're lifelongs now. And I absolutely love that. And was able to successfully get them into a house and sell their house at the same time and got them into what they absolutely loved and were looking for. And sometimes it takes 6 weeks, and sometimes it takes 6 months to 18 months. And so, just those longer ones, though, whenever you get to that finish line, everybody's very happy. I love that because it's just fun to see that they were
Finally
so
got what they
happy
wanted.
with finding exactly what they wanted and they didn't give up or get discouraged.
So that could be something that you could tell me that that could be a bad experience. The length of time that it takes, the people get through an emotional roller coaster trying to find what they don't think it's there, and then all of a sudden, boom, within a year, they finally find something. Is that
I
what
mean,
you would
yeah,
say?
it can be discouraging when you don't find what it is that you're looking for, or you find what you think might be that perfect house and it just doesn't work out for whatever reason with
Right.
inspections or negotiations or whatever. So, yeah, sometimes those get a little bit discouraging for the seller or the buyer, who the client is that I'm working with. But we just continue to move on, and I encourage them that either something better will come along or we'll find what the perfect fit for them is. And every time they say, I'm so glad that we didn't get that last one because this one is so much better. Really and truly, everything works out for a reason. And they are, in the end, very happy that they stuck with it.
Yeah, that's really neat. Can you tell me some sources that you use to mark as marketing that you use for properties?
Yeah, so we have at CBNA Realtors, we have a contract with all of the other brokerages in the Houston area. So all of our listings go onto their websites as well as to HAR, Zillow, all of the popular real estate websites. We do marketing on Instagram, Facebook. We do ads on the internet and really push to get it out there as quickly as possible, especially in that first week on the market. We have a list of thousands of buyers in our database that are looking for properties, and really just network with each other within our brokerage and all the other brokerages that we are partners with in the area, and do open houses, do brokerage open houses, and really just get the property out there. And those first couple weeks are really important whenever it's new and shiny on the market. And we're normally very successful in getting contracts within the first several weeks on the market.
That's neat. That's really nice to know. What is one thing that people need to know about you?
For me, I think I take pride in the fact that no matter what the price range is that I'm working with, whether it's 100,000 or several million, I treat all of my clients the same. I give them all the same amount of attention, all of my marketing resources, and everything to do the very best job. I'm not looking at the number, I'm looking at the person, and really forming that relationship and listening to what they need and what they want and how I can best help them be successful in the transaction that they're looking for, and finding the perfect home or selling their home, whatever it is that they need. I'm here for them, and it doesn't matter the amount of money that I'm going to make off of it. It's really about the person, not the price.
That's awesome. People love relationships, and that's one thing for sure that you just now expressed that made a lot of sense. Ken, there's a phrase out there called trusted advisor that is in my industry. Sometimes professionals aspire to be that. What does that term trusted advisor mean to you in terms of trusted real estate advisor?
As a trusted advisor, I really think we're partners to get to the finish line together. What it is that you need, how can I help you as your trusted advisor and partner to get that done and to be successful for all of us. So if I can help, finding a contractor, if you need some repairs done, if I can help you find the insurance, I'm not just there to find the house and click that box and move on. We're really partners in the whole thing. And even after closing, I follow up with my clients and ask them, hey, how did, this repair work out? Do you need a plumber? We had mentioned you wanted to do an upgrade on the back with a patio. I've got a couple contractors in the area, really just working with them. And just because we sign at closing, we don't say goodbye. I continue that relationship as their partner for whatever they need. And I have several out-of-state clients that have moved in, and I'll be like, hey, how's it going? I know you have family coming in town. Do you want some recommendations for restaurants in the area? I've been in Houston and Galveston area for almost my entire life. And I love giving, hey, y'all aren't from Texas. Let me give you the best Mexican restaurant in that area. So
That's
really, a trusted advisor doesn't just end at the closing table. They're really partners. I'd love to be their partner for years afterwards and help them with other things that they might need.
That is so neat because a lot of people don't understand that, and that is truly a big benefit in this day and age. So tell me something. Everyone seems to be a real estate agent, and I hate to say it like that, but what does it mean to be a realtor like yourself? Because you are a special, unique person.
Thank you. Yes, there is a difference between real estate agents and realtors. Being a realtor means that you are licensed under the National Association of Realtors, which means that as a realtor, you have a higher standard of ethics, a code of ethics that we have to abide by. And we have classes and different things that we help get legislation done through the government to help property taxes and all of those things for property owners. And realtors really take that to heart to know what's going to be the best thing moving forward for our homeowners long term. And realtors pay fees for all of those things and really try to help homeowners in the state of Texas to get what's best for them in their investment.
Neat. So tell me something. Why should people choose a realtor? That's just expanding more on what you do, if you don't mind sharing that with us.
It's easy to look on Zillow or look on HAR and find a home, but that's not what a realtor really does. That's part of it, but it's really from where the contract is to the closing. And it's so important to use a realtor because there's parts of the contract that you check the wrong box, it could cost you thousands. And the negotiations part of it, there's a stat out there that says not using a realtor could end up costing you more than 9% more in a transaction than whatever your negotiated percentage is with your realtor. And so really having a professional on your side will really save you thousands in not making mistakes on the contract, negotiations, really knowing the area. Maybe you're looking specifically for a good school district or something that's close to your work. The realtors really are professionals in their field and really concentrate on knowing what the market is doing, what the pricing is doing, and giving you the best deal for your transaction in a home.
That's very interesting. That's good to know because a lot of people don't understand that and they think it's so easy just to go on those sites and saying, okay. And then there's all that other stuff that you just mentioned that most people don't really realize, especially younger people that and come across, and then even some older people, because we get lost in the minutia of everything that's out there. Can you tell us what is a good referral source for you that you get some of these clients from?
A lot of my referral sources come from financial planners, attorneys. I come across, other than just people in my normal everyday circle, but people that are going through life changes and or know somebody that do. I have neighbors and stuff, but as far as professionals go, I think attorneys a lot of times, because they could do estate planning or sometimes divorces, things like that. And then financial planners, because a lot of times people will go to their financial planner to know how much of a house they can afford. Also, anyone in banking or doing mortgages as well, because a lot of times they'll go to them for pre-approvals before they start looking.
How can we find you, Kellie? That's one particular area that most people would love to hear, is how to find you. Where can we locate you and everything else about your business, where you're located?
Yeah, we have a LinkedIn page, our website, dardendynasty.com, on Facebook, Instagram, under my name, Kellie Jovane, and under the cbnarealtors.com website will also be there.
That is going to wrap up our interview here. Kellie, I really appreciate your time. Again, my name is Mike Agol. I'm the co-host of the Sterling Insights. Thank you very much for being here, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Sterling Insights. Stand out and supercharge your assets, where we provide the info you need from successful leading financial advisors, lawyers, and CPAs. Your hosts, Roger and Catherine Silk, invite you to learn more about Sterling Foundation Management by visiting sterlingfoundations.com.